Talk Sport. There we go, it's Nico Rosberg who's put it on pole here in Spa. We'll have loads more reaction when we come back.
Winning preparation. This Sky Sports F1 programme is sponsored by Shaw. It won't let you down.
My friends say I'm a traveler. West Coast, East Coast, nothing's too far away. Don't wanna stay, I'm easily bought. Let me go, cause
Live every moment. The new Up for £99 per month.
Volkswagen.
Racing isn't just my passion, it's my life. Every day brings a new challenge. Nothing great ever comes easy. Because the only way to be world champion is to leave everyone else behind. F1 2016. Create your own legend.
Get a £5 free bet every week with Offer Club from William Hill.
hey-oh, let's go, let's go.
Simply stake a total of £20 or more across the week on pre-match football accumulators with 4 or more selections, and you'll get a £5 free bet on the Friday. Plus, you can get on faster and easier than ever with our new and improved mobile betting experience. Join William Hill Offer Club on mobile or online now.
When the storm hit, we just couldn't stay at home. Andy from NFU Mutual was in the area, so we popped round. He offered us a hotel room and £500 to cover expenses. No quibbling and no forms.
While every claim is different, at NFU Mutual our local agents prefer to act first and sort out the details later.
Jason Statham, Jessica Alba, Tommy Lee Jones. Mechanic Resurrection.
I've got my mindset on you. I've got my mindset on you. I've got my mindset on you. I know what I've got to do.
Checking your bank balance with the swipe of a finger is a little thing. But sometimes, little things make a big difference. Fast balance on your mobile from HSBC. It's a big little thing.
The Premier League is back. And it's live.
Super Sunday. Tomorrow from 12:30 on Sky Sports.
Let's do this.
You can be loud.
No!
You can be lively.
I don't know what's going on.
You can even be as late as you like.
But why would I want to?
James Corden comes to catch up 24 hours after the US.
This is the Late Late Show. Roll the title!
The Late Late Show with James Corden, available now on Catch Up TV.
Welcome back. Rosberg, Verstappen and Raikkonen are your top three. Let's get their thoughts right now.
Congratulations to the top three qualifiers for the Belgian Grand Prix. In third place, Kimi Raikkonen. Second place, Max Verstappen. And on pole position for the sixth time this year, Nico Rosberg. Nico, many congratulations. Was that session as smooth on the inside as it looked from where we were sitting?
No, I mean, we had a difficult weekend up to now, and especially this morning. We were seriously off the pace on one lap, so it really wasn't so easy coming into qualifying, but we got the job done in the end. We really made quite a few changes on the car going into qualifying, and we found the right way. So it all came together, and it was feeling good, so I'm very pleased about that one.
Congratulations. Max, coming on to you. This is your first ever front row start, and you become the youngest ever driver to start on the front row of the grid for a Grand Prix. Just 0.1 of a second behind Nico. Do you think pole position was on today?
Yeah, I mean, it's always you can always do a better job, but I think also Nico could have done a better lap. It's always when you put everything together. But I think in the end, to be so close to them on a track with some long straights, we can be very pleased with that. I mean, the whole weekend actually has been very smooth, even though I had some little issues this morning. But from there on, I mean, the mechanics did a great job, and in qualifying, the car was working really well, as you could see in Sector 2. So, I'm just very pleased, to be second here in front of my fans. I mean, it's just a great motivation when you see them next to the track.
Congratulations to you. Coming on to Kimi. Kimi, how's the car performing this weekend? It looked like there were some nervous moments in Q2 when you went back out for a second run.
No, it was all planned, so I wasn't really, anything odd going on. Obviously, in the last qualifying, I ran wide in the first try, and that wasn't ideal. But the second run was pretty good. But if I'm comparing to my Q2 lap, I lost a few tenths in the last chicane. So obviously, the pole position was there, so it's a bit disappointing because obviously once we are close by there, would have been nice to get it, but tomorrow is the race, and I think anyhow, if we compare it to the previous few races, we have to be satisfied where we are after qualifying. But until we are in the front, you cannot be too happy.
Okay, thank you, Kimi. Coming back to you, Nico. You're on pole. Your main championship rival will be starting from the back tomorrow. Just give us your thoughts going into the race.
Well, happy to be on pole, and it's the only thing is it's going to be a very challenging race because the tyres are extremely difficult out there this weekend, and strategy and everything is going to be very, very interesting. And I think we're going to see a bit of everything, let alone with Max being on a super soft. Then Kimi is on soft. Is that the case? Or yeah, Kimi on a soft, and it's going to be a whole load of things going on. So it will definitely not be an easy one.
By Kimi's standards, he's been remarkably chipper this weekend, and you can see why. He's actually putting in some pretty decent performances of late on Saturdays.
Yeah, and I think particularly today, or this weekend, to be perfectly frank. And I think it's a typical situation of a driver that just seems to love this type of track. Then you sort of started to get sort of those little sort of sensations going through your fingers and toes, and then he reacts and then does a brilliant job like that and has put himself in a very good position come tomorrow as well.
It is a track that he's had a lot of success at in the past. Here is Christian Horner.
Nice result, that. Nice.
Very good. I mean, for Max, a stonking first lap, and really impressive what he managed to nail. It looked like the circuit just went off a little bit on the second run with a few cars failing to improve. But to be on the front row here, only a tenth and a half or so behind Mercedes, that's pretty impressive.
And the split between the two drivers, what do you think it was down to? Max said on the radio after he thought it might have given him a bit of extra motivation, so many Dutch and home fans for him.
Well, he's obviously pretty pumped here, but he's driven a very controlled qualifying there. Daniel made a small mistake at turn 1 on his first lap, which looked like when the circuit was at its best, and of course that's a penalty then all the way up the hill. But starting 5th and with his tyre strategy for tomorrow, it's going to be a fascinating race.
Well, I was going to ask you finally about the tyre strategy for the race, but haven't you put Max at a slight disadvantage? He's going to have to pit earlier than Daniel. Daniel doesn't even have to run the very delicate super soft if he doesn't want to.
Well, it's going to be a fascinating thing tomorrow because, as you say, the super soft is going to need to pit earlier, but he should then be able to start making real progress through the field, maybe even have track position compared to the other cars, and it's going to be fascinating to see how it really works out. I mean, a few years ago, we stopped on lap 2 here and managed to win the race. So it's not clear cut. And when we discussed it this morning, I put it open to the drivers to choose the tyre that they would prefer to start the race on. And both drivers independently came up with the tyre choice that they've got here today.
Oh, really? Okay, so that was their decision?
That was, very much them and their engineering teams, respectively. So, and from a team point of view, it covers both options. Yeah. Here and now, we don't know which the best one is. Tomorrow, I'm sure you'll all be specialists.
Okay, all right. Maybe after the race we will. Thank you.
So let's pick up and show you the front row battle that we had between the Red Bull and Mercedes. Christian said it was very close. So down into the first corner, it's the only thing I can pick up. Rosberg, not even a mistake, I think just a different line. He decides to get the car a bit straighter, hard on throttle, heading down. Now we're down into Eau Rouge. They're both going to pick their line. Now it's an easy flat corner, so you're just going to see nothing different from any car. Now this is when the Mercedes really kicks into gear and you just get that extra power. They use the battery pack. Their qualifying mode just gives them that little bit extra. Up to the top of the Kemmel Straight. Now it's the end of sector 1. Rosberg was a little bit in front. Into the chicane, both cars very direct, nice and committed, both able to use as much runoff as they can onto the curb. Now this is where it gets a bit more difficult. Down on the brakes, no signs of any lock-in. Through the hairpin, straighten the car up as quick as you can. You want to open the throttle. Now this is where the rear really starts to get light. Rosberg, he was showing quite a lot of dust earlier on. I'm just going to freeze it here and actually show you. Just look at the shadow under the bridge. Both cars absolutely identical at that point. Down into Pouhon, a nice big corner, nice and committed, a bit like Silverstone. Really use what the car's capable. All that grip. Is the tyre still with you? Finishing touches of the lap, both cars looking ever so good. Tyre lasting well. Really starting to close in the end of this sector. This is where the Mercedes was a little bit weaker than the Red Bull. We're now really into the open part of the lap. Nice and flat. A little bit of a change from last year's, a little bit of grass on the outside. Now it's a race to the last chicane. The final chicane has one braking point in it. Down through Blanchimont, Max Verstappen had a great overtake last year, overtake of the year for Sky Sports F1. Now, how committed are you going to be on the brakes down into the final chicane? Both cars stopping well. Wind that lock on, get to the apex. Again, use everything the tyres got. Remember, you don't have to worry about these tyres for the race tomorrow. Now, let's obviously get off the line on how it is. Let's catch up with Sebastian Vettel. He's starting P4. Let's see if he can put the battle to these guys that are on the front row.
Seb, you might be starting P4, but you're starting the race on soft tyres tomorrow. So what can you do from there?
Well, we'll see. We thought it's a better thing to do. It worked, so let's see what it brings tomorrow.
We could have some cooler temperatures. Is that going to bring the super softs back into play, do you think?
Well, it's still going to be hot if you talk about Spa, so it's not going to be cold, I believe. It's not going to be 17 degrees. That would be cold. So we'll see. It's supposed to be a bit cooler, but then again, still, as I said, it's hot all weekend and all the tires are struggling with the temperatures, no matter if they're red, yellow or white.
How can you win this race tomorrow?
Cross the checkered flag first.
Can you win this race any other way?
That will work 100% if
It will, won't it?
Yeah.
You see it waving. Okay, just tyre-wise, is there something different you can do? I mean, you're going to start on the softs as it is, so you're doing something different to the rest of the top 10 apart from Daniel and Nico. So what can you do? Can you win this race?
I think we can. I think it's very close. Today has been very close, so anyone in the top 5, 6 in qualifying has a word tomorrow. Should the gaps be like that, obviously it will be key to take care of the tires. Not a big surprise when it's warm like this on a track like that. So apart from that, obviously you need to be smart with strategy. We've tried something, made it work for tomorrow to start the race on a different compound than usual and go from there.
Yeah, it appeared that a mistake at the final chicane cost him. Listen to this.
It's the last corner. It's the last corner. I have 0 rear, and I'm not pushing on the way in at 0 rear. It's all last corner. I lost it again. Broke the traction, no grip. Easily 1.5 tenths, just on power.
Johnny, frustrating.
Very frustrated. Like Martin had said, that very last corner and you lose all that time. But he'd be happy with the tyre choice that he's got. You can see there on his face, he's actually in a very nice position for come tomorrow's race.
Just to add intrigue to what's already looking like it's going to be a fascinating start to the race tomorrow, Johnny can confirm that his radar right now is saying rain to arrive at 2.
Yeah, my app. It's normally pretty good. It's actually, it was 5 o'clock. Now it's moved to about 2 o'clock. And I have heard from a couple of teams that it is around. And you never know in this Ardennes forest when it's going to hit. So that could make a real big difference to the race.
OK, we're just waiting to hear from Daniel Ricciardo, who's just taking a nice little stroll behind us. We know that he had a lively time off in the summer.
Hey up.
Where am I going?
Come on in.
Middle, side?
You can get in the middle. Get in the middle. We'll sandwich you. Happy with that?
Let's say not disappointed. You know, normally I'd be probably a bit disappointed if I'm, 5th and obviously Max is on the front row. But he did a good lap. I was not, I felt I did a decent lap with the super soft, but just like that little bit to get more out of it. But Q2 was important for me to start on the soft.
Yeah, I was
So
going to
we got
say,
that.
how much of an advantage is that going to be, do you think, over your teammate?
I think it is going to help me, but Max wanted his strategy, and I wanted mine. So we obviously both feel that we've got the best one. But yeah, I'm happy to have pulled it off. I think tomorrow will bid me well, and yeah, I'm cool. I'm happy.
Yeah, and we always know how good this car is in that middle sector. We've seen how good actually you are in sector 1 and sector 3. Is that going to really come into play tomorrow? You're going to say, I've got a chance tomorrow.
I think so. I think we're in a similar position to 2014. We're obviously still quite strong in the middle sector, but not that far off in the first two. I started 5th 2 years ago, so I don't know. Right now I'm positive of a good race. Let's see.
Dan, were you quite sort of perplexed about where the pace has come from? I think Christian at the beginning of the weekend was thinking that you guys were going to be behind Ferrari. This is traditionally a track that suits the strengths of the Red Bull compared with some of the ones coming later here in Monza. But it now looks as if you've got a car that is competitive at every track. Would you go along with that?
Yeah, I think so. That's really positive. I think next week our biggest test will be Monza. But so far we've been good on tight, twisty and pretty fast and flowing circuits, so it's good. I'm happy. I think long run pace will be a little bit tastier tomorrow, at least for me. I felt long runs this weekend I've been probably handling that a bit better than the short runs, so hopefully I'm right, and if I am, then I'll be up there tomorrow.
Good work. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it, Daniel. Yeah, there we go. Felipe Massa. Yeah, he made an error early on, didn't he? Let's hear from him and from Rob Smedley.
Felipe, we saw you lock up in your first run in Q3. Must be pretty frustrated.
Very frustrating, yeah. For two things. For first run in Q1, I had a misfire on the engine, so I had a very slow lap because of this problem. And then I had to go again with another set of tires. It would have been easy to pass. They fixed this problem, and I was pretty competitive. I was happy in the Q2, P6 I think, and then in Q3 I had only one set of tires because of this issue in Q1. I tried everything I could. I locked the front and passed through straight in the corner 1, and I couldn't do the lap because of that, unfortunately. I was happy with the car, but yeah, these two issues I had complicate my qualifying.
Is the tyre choice going to adversely affect your weekend now? If it's these temperatures tomorrow with the softs, the only 3 sets of softs that the team chose to bring here, is that going to basically scupper your race?
It will be a very tough race for sure. It will be a difficult choice on the tires. Many cars try to qualify with a harder compound, and for sure they had a little bit better pace to do that. We don't. It could have been possible, but very tight for us. And yeah, and then tomorrow it will be tough to keep the tires in the good shape. It will be a very difficult race for everybody, and we need to try to do everything in the best way we can.
Well, Robert, I don't think we knew it during the session, but Valtteri had some kind of engine software issue?
Both cars.
Both cars, okay.
Both cars engine software issue. Yeah, so it just meant that we couldn't run all of the power that should have been available to us in qualifying mode.
Costing you?
Is around about 2/10. It would have put us in that 6th position. Just in front of the Force India. So a little bit more than a little bit disappointing, but that's motor racing. We have to look forward now to tomorrow. We had some really good long runs yesterday, relatively good against high field degradation. Car pace looked quite good yesterday, so you got to pick yourself up and dust yourself up and just get on with it, haven't you?
Okay, good, thanks very much.
In the history of Formula 1, no one has ever won from the back of the grid. What do we think of Lewis Hamilton's chances tomorrow?
I think if it stays sort of in these conditions, I still think he's got a very good shot. We know how good that car is. We know how good a racer he is at the same time. We know he's got the right tyres as well. So he's got a very good opportunity of getting some good points in his pocket before we move off to Monza. And I think he can do that, as he always has. Michael Schumacher, 95, starting 16th and won the race.
OK, we shall see, but it's going to be intriguing, isn't it? We do hope you can join us for this first race back after the summer break. 11:30, as I stated, we'll be on air with the track parade and lights out at 1. All the reaction will be live from the paddock from 3:30. All of this is, of course, on Sky Sports F1. Now, Here's one for you, the latest instalment from the Star Wars franchise, J.J. Abrams' The Force Awakens, available now on Sky Cinema Premiere and Sky Cinema On Demand. We've got Rosberg at the front, Lewis Hamilton at the back, and the rest in between. We'll see you tomorrow for the Belgian Grand Prix. Bye-bye for now.
Enjoy Sky Sports F1 Live. On all screens, on the go, and the best bits on demand.